Yeah, I think the conventional wisdom, at least because of how dominant the LDP has been for so long, it's not really. I think it would be more surprising if there was a change in government and that the LDP and Komeito suffered a massive loss. And I think there's several, factors that go in their favor. First, just being that they are the ruling party for a very long time. So, voters who don't, aren't as interested or engaged in politics will immediately defer to the LDP as kind of the standard vote in any case because they don't know what piece or they don't care or don't have the time to kind of read through every single party's manifesto and kind of see what the differences are. And in that case, you kind of defer to the current or incumbent option, especially if you don't think life is as bad as, it could be. I would start by saying that regardless of whether, the LDP and Komeito keep the majority or don't, they're still going to lose seats. And that's still a good reason for people who don't like Ishiba in the party to point a finger at him and say, we don't think he should be leading the party going forward. Now, I think the margin does matter because if it's a blowout defeat and there is a change in government, obviously there's no question that they're going to ask him to step down and he probably would have to step down. But like we just discussed, I don't think that's a likely scenario. At least it's not going to be a blowout, I don't think. We've already seen evidence, not maybe because of that, but of Ishiba kind of having to manage the ideal vision versus the reality of the LDP, where it's basically a group of lawmakers who have very different views on policies, but come together because their, numbers are power. And they have different views. So, if somebody, a prime minister says, I want to do this, it could be very well against what, maybe 30-40% of the LDP wants to do. And so that becomes a huge debate within the party. And in that sense, probably the first few ones that would come up would be what to include in the supplementary budget for the economic package, given there's the pro-spending folk and the kind of fiscal discipline folk in the party. That's going to be a big clash, I think. And then on defense, given Ishiba's focus on the Asian NATO and ideas of trying to revise, certain agreements with the United States, that probably won't be a consensus agreement within the party as well.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download Metro TV Extend sekarang.